Hey everybody, Z Garcia here. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the first expansion to Detective. This is LA Crimes. LA Crimes features a brand new story that, while you do need the core box to play with the components and have the rules available to you, you don't necessarily need to have finished the story in the original core Detective game. And in fact, I haven't finished the original game. I got 2 scenarios in. It was very interesting and captivating, but put it down for a bit, and it's been hard to get back to it. And when I do get back to it, I think I'll start over again, because there's a lot going on in it. So I decided, I'm just going to jump right into LA Crimes here and just tackle a new story. Those 2 things are really completely independent. So, in this one, the action is set in the 80s, therefore the quite a few things are going to be different in it. It's going to have a whole new cast, of course, brand new investigative issues at play, a couple of new mechanisms that are going to be featured on the cards, but really it's its own thing. So, what do I think of it? What do I think of it on its own? What do I think of it compared to the bit I've played from the original game? We're going to go ahead and dive into that. I, of course, will not be showing you a whole lot of what comes in the little LA Crimes box, because I can for spoiler reasons. But let me give you a quick look at what's in there. I'm not really going to be spoiling anything, not looking at any cards. And then we'll come on back up here, and I'll tell you what I think of it. So here's everything you are going to be getting with the LA Crimes expansion. You get a new board, so you will not be using the original board from the base game. You've got a new one with just a few locations, the time track, of course. You'll be tracking the days there at the bottom, and this board is double-sided. So you'll be using this part as well when instructed to do so. The game has 3 scenarios, as you can see here, 3 cases. You also get these 5 investigators, and they work the same way as in the other one. Whoever wants one will take it. So say you're playing with 3 people, these 3 players will take those. And then on the other side, you'll turn the leftovers over and use the tokens that you are given for not employing these characters. So there'll be someone else on the back who's giving you some assistance in the game. So that's all the same. The game is playing largely the same, though of course the setting is now in the 80s, and the Antares website is going to change its look dramatically in order to sort of tell you a better story to reflect the theme and the technology at the time. You still have access to the internet and a few things like that you'll find, but you are using a website that just looks dramatically different if you've played the base game. There are a couple of new actions that you'll take in the new setting here, and those are neat. So one of them is the ability to make a choice immediately. Basically, as the rulebook says here, it asks you to make a decision right now on something. Do you want to tail this person, or do you want to break in here or not break in here? Stuff like that. There are also cards that allow you to take stress tokens to do something, some action, and there's also the ability to assign a tail to someone. You can, set up a surveillance on somebody by spending some tokens, and then normally you'll get a report on the night's events the next day in the morning. Very interesting stuff. So there you go. That's pretty much all there is down here that, again, I can really show you. So let's go back up top and let's actually talk this through. And without spoilers, let me tell you what I think of it. All right, so that is LA Crimes. First off, what did I think of it just overall? I really liked it. I had a great time with this. It's a cool story. It feels very cop movie-esque, from the 80s. It's got a very Lethal Weapon thing going on with less action, but more of the investigative aspects of that. And I found it to be really a punchy story. Lots going on, but interesting and engaging. I really liked it. So I'm going to go ahead and break this down a little bit more. Again, when appropriate, I'll tell you what I think of the original game. But I will say, at the end of the day, having played through this one has kind of rekindled my wanting to get into the core box again. So I think I'm going to try to jump back into that. I just have to make sure I do it within a time frame that's fairly tight so I don't start forgetting things, because I will. Whereas this, I played over 2 days. And I did play each part multiple times. There's 3 cases in there. I am awful at it, apparently, so I did play each one multiple times. But I'll talk about that in replayability a little bit and what I think about that. So from the top, theme. Like I said, it's awesome. I really enjoyed it. It's got a Beverly Hills Cop sort of thing, or Lethal Weapon, like I said. It's got that vibe to it. I really enjoyed that. The aesthetics are a little bit tricky because of the 80s setting. Means that the website, the Atari's website, looks like, I mean, it's an approximation of, what an old computer screen might look like. It's really hard to get used to. It took me some time to get accustomed to the way they were doing things, where you have to type in what you want, the command, and go to that thing. Whereas I was used to in the original core box, it's modern, so you can just click on things. This is different. It's going to take some getting used to. There's also, before I move off of aesthetics, there's a lot of little typos on the website, on cards. There's a lot of that. It's unfortunately a little bit of what happens, or what's been happening lately with Portal games, but be aware of it. Some people don't care about those things. They kind of bother me, but, be aware of it. Nothing game breaking, but it's there. Okay, replayability. Let me talk about this a little bit. I would not say the replayability in this is amazing. You are playing through the cases, 3, and then you're done. You know the best answers to the questions that will be posed. However, this feels to me like the new and improved Time Stories, where I play through a case, I figure things out, I go on the computer, I answer some questions once I'm done gathering my intel, and I bomb. I am a horrible detective. But then I set it up again. I wipe the information clean, and I play through it again, kind of following through the story and figuring out, what would I do this time? What did I miss? And why did I miss it? Now, again, without using the information that I had previously, because it's wiped from the screen. And while that might be a little bit of, not cheating, but it's a little iffy to be like, well, but you know things already. So, that lead you didn't chase down this time, you knew it wasn't good. Yeah, that's true, but I'm still having a blast playing through it again. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it. It's not about building up a case with a reset button necessarily, but you do badly, you wipe the case away, and then you do it again. And I had just as much fun the following times. And got through case 1, did it for case 2, didn't do so hot there either, did through it again. So I really had a good time with it. Point being, I got a lot of hours out of this. Like I said, about 2 days of playing for quite a few hours. So replayability isn't great, but it's not bad, and you don't destroy anything, so you could give this to someone else or play with a different group. Game length. From what I recall from the original game and the 2 scenarios I've played anyway, this feels tighter in game length. I played each scenario in about 2 hours, whereas the ones in the original game feel like they take about 3 hours. I don't know if that's better writing, which I would say is the writing is a little bit tighter. And I know there's typos. I'm talking about the actual writing style felt a little bit more cop drama, So I liked that. Or if it was just that the story had a little more interest or was a little more pointed. I don't know, but the story felt tighter, and the arc of the whole thing felt better to me. So I liked that. I also have to say, I think 3 chapters or cases as they call them is a really good campaign length. I would love to see more content from the company in which they come out with these cases that are 3-parters. The beginning, building tension, and the climax at the end, and that works really well for me. Ease of play. It's easy to follow. I like the way that the new mechanisms are folded in there. I like being able to sort of strong-arm people or make actions that are outside the law. You know what I mean? I like those things. I like being able to, the whole pin a tail on somebody and let me know what you found out tomorrow. You read the report in the computer. That's really cool. I like that a lot. I still think that the questions you're going to get at the end of the scenario are a little bit tricky. More like the answers are a little bit tricky. The questions I see coming. The answers, I'm like, well, I feel like both of these answers kind of fit the question. I guess I have to pick which one's the best one, you know? So that's a little bit of a quirky system still, the way it wraps up. But it's, you know, this system is much better than something like the Sherlock Holmes consultant detective games, which had no structure. And then lastly, tactics and strategy. And like I said, it's a little cleaner than the base game in my opinion, but I haven't finished the base game, so I gotta get to that. Overall, I was really happy with this. I think it's a great expansion, side quest. I don't know what you want to call it because it is its own thing. That really enhances the original one and gives you a new sort of story in the same system, you know? If you find yourself, like me, having played the original game a little bit and maybe put it down, didn't get back to it, I would definitely recommend you pick up LA Crimes. Play this. I think it's going to captivate you. The story's going to be over in 3 rounds. And I think it's going to get you going to get back into the original core box. That's what I found anyway. I am excited to get back into it and check it out. The website, for one thing, is going to look a lot better in the original scenario. But this one told me a cool story, and I enjoyed the beats in it a lot. So, there you go. Overall, really dug it. This is going to get a seal of approval from me, everybody. LA Crimes expansion for Detective right here. Thanks for checking this out with me. I'm Z Garcia, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com.